We are in Star Plaza at Staples Center in Los Angeles, where tonight the 2012 NHL Stanley Cup playoffs continued with Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Anze Kopitar ties the game here 1-1. Dwight King got his 5th goal in 5 games. That was the game winner. The Kings win it 2-1 over the Phoenix Coyotes, and now the Kings have won 8 straight games in the playoffs, and they have a 3-0 lead in this series. And Jim, the beat goes on. It wasn't the greatest game by the Kings tonight, but the Phoenix played a lot better.
The thing that impresses everyone, Bob, and we've talked about this quite a bit lately, especially before tonight's game, the Kings are able to win games in different fashions. Yeah. It's not always the same thing. Actually, the start of tonight's game, Phoenix had their best start of the series. Right. And it took the Kings about 10 minutes to get into the game. But as the game went along, it's one of those factors where the Kings seem to have the wear-down factor. Just keep getting the puck deep, keep the forecheck going, and sooner or later, the pace and the tempo go the Kings' way. Another thing to point out, Coyotes score first, and the Kings come right back. That's been a theme of this playoff so far. The Kings not back on their heels, go right back at you. After that 1-0 lead for Phoenix, the Kings came back with that goal by Kopitar 2 minutes and 7 seconds later. But let's take a look right now at the Hyundai highlights. Well, of course, the Kings coming home for the first time in round number 3. So maybe they're going to be nervous to start, maybe a little bit tentative. That's probably the way things started for the Kings. Mike Smith, he was tested early. In the first period, the Coyotes had the more shots, but the Kings had the better chances. And you can see the Kings continue to penetrate, trying to go down the middle. I thought the Coyotes did a better job tonight down the middle, but the Kings, look at this, 2-man, this great stick save right here by Klesla. That's a huge play right there. Otherwise, the Kings get the lead they want, though. Second period, face off, take it back, you see what happens. Now watch the middle open up right here. There's just a split-second miscommunication. Slides between the pads of Jonathan Quick. People say bad goal. I say not a bad goal, stoppable because it's not well defended. The Coyotes, though, take advantage of the middle. Now we'll see the Kings. The Kings have to figure things out. Kopitar helping out. Help out, give, and go. And you can see just for that split second, the defender gets caught flat-footed. And that's all it takes, a player like Kopitar. Now we're back to the sick hands of Kopitar. The patience, the understanding, open up the goaltender, give and go. It's the oldest play in the book, but the Kings execute perfectly right there. Kopitar to Brown, right back to Kopitar, and the Kings come back quickly to tie it up. Into the third period, the Kings are going to continue to force the play, and actually right there, a couple of saves, they'll draw a penalty. And that's so important. That's part of the game and the flow. The Kings are able to keep it going and finally force. There's a delayed penalty coming on right here against Phoenix. But watch Dwight King. Patience, confidence, take the puck from the boards to the middle. That's what happened in game 1 of this series. The Kings were able to go from the boards to the middle. What a shot by Dwight King. So he's not only a grinder, he's not only a guy that's going to get the body. When given time, he has the hands right there. And a good example right there with Dwight King. Under Darryl Sutter, he encourages everyone. If you have time, make a play. Well, Dwight King, 5 goals in the last 5 games. He gets the game winner here tonight. Right now, Patrick O'Neill is going to talk with the Kings captain, Dustin Brown.
Okay, Bob, Jim, thanks very much. You know, they're just talking about Dwight King. 5 goals so far in this playoffs is one short of tying that rookie record for the LA Kings. The game winner on the delayed penalty, what did you see?
You know, that line's been good below the dots all playoffs, and I think we had a delayed penalty on a hit line. He just came out of the corner, and I mean, he's big and he's strong, but he just cut to the middle, and I mean, perfect shot.
Third period, you guys hang on, you survive, the crowd behind you, you're 1 away from the finals. Just tell me about the third period and hanging on and what you guys did to win this game.
I mean, I think we weathered it in the first. The first was not our best period, and I think we responded quick after their goal, and we got an early goal in the third, and that goes a long way. I don't know how early it was, actually. So
right. I was going to say the forecheck, Dustin, has been so strong, been carrying you guys. Don't you think? I mean,
it's not only the forecheck, but the back check and the back pressure. We're not giving them. I mean, they had more chances tonight. I think that's a result of them playing more of the game they wanted to play, patient, and waiting for their opportunities. But again, we found a way to get a goal, and we had some other really good opportunities. And again, they have a pretty good goaltender that kept them in the game on a couple of the chances.
Great pass to Kopitar for the first goal. That was a tremendous read, huh?
Yeah, I knew he was going to have the guy. I put it in his skates behind the guy because I didn't want to go in front of it to give the guy an opportunity to knock it with his stick. So I just put it off his butt, and Kobe made a good pickup. All
right, one more to go before you guys reach the Stanley Cup Finals. Sometimes they say that closeout game is the toughest. Do you agree with that? And Sunday at noon, what do you expect?
It's a desperate team over there. We've been in this situation twice in the playoffs now, and it's important for us to understand we've worked really hard to get ourselves to this situation. Now it's time to put the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Congrats and great job. We'll see you Sunday.
Thank you.
The captain, Dustin Brown, 8 straight guys, 11-1 in the playoffs. I'm going to go inside the locker room right now and bring you some more interviews. Back to you.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. That's right. He had a beautiful assist on that goal by Kopitar. And then later in that third period, Jim, Brownie had 2 great chances, one with 9:42 left and then one with about 9:12 left, and Smith made the save.
And I don't have the numbers again, but I assume Dustin Brown was on the board with hits again. I mean, you could tell so many solid quality hits. It was interesting he's talking about that play with Kopitar because now they played together for so long. Dustin felt he could not lead Kopitar because it was too fine of a situation. He understands that Kopitar is an extremely skilled guy. Anytime you put a pass into a guy's skates on purpose, you're showing a lot of confidence in that guy. And you can see with Kopitar, he never slowed his stride. He maintained the gap between him and the checker by taking it up, kicking it up, and then the hands to finish off. But that understanding between guys that have played together, and Bob, I know it's been a constant theme, and I'm kind of getting tired of it, but since Darryl's come aboard, Darryl Sutter, he's kept the lines together.
Yeah.
He's kept the pairs together. And the Kings have been so lucky with that area where guys aren't going out of the lineup. So you play guys together, they get used to it, and they work well.
Well, you got rookies contributing, as Dwight King has, Jordan Nolan has, and then late in the game, Slava Voinov, a rookie defenseman.
I just want to take a look at a shift for Voinov late in the game. 1-goal game, holding a lead. Again, you're talking about the style under Darryl Sutter. Not much happening here. It's going to end up being picked off in the neutral zone. Now watch this. This is a defenseman, keep in mind. You're holding a lead. But the Kings have shown late in games they're not going to back off. They're going to keep going. Look at him. He's behind the net. Does he go back to his position? No. He stays down low. He gets coverage and help by a forward, but at the same time, you look at stays down low. He went down there, gets back up, and keeps puck possession. That's a defenseman. Now, finally, with total control, he takes the chance, goes all the way to the bench. That was a great example of the new attitude the LA Kings have. That attitude is when you're holding the lead late, it's not only just chip it in and dump it in. Now, if that was the end of a shift for Voinov, he would have done that. He would have chipped, he would have went to the bench. But that was the start of a shift. He just came on. He had fresh legs, kept it down low. What did he take off? About 45 seconds off the clock by the time everything unraveled. That's what you try to do. Hold on to it. It works.
18,367 capacity here again tonight at Staples Center, and these fans chanting out here, "We want the cup." But the Kings, 8 straight wins now in this playoff year, and they are 11-1. Look at the goals for 27. They've only allowed 10. Shots per game and the shots allowed and the penalty kill at 96.8%.
Yeah, there was a couple of times again tonight, Bob, where Phoenix thought they had a chance to get back in on the power play. Maybe snuff it out.
Let's hear from more of the Kings. Let's go down to Patrick O'Neill.
Okay, Bob, Jim, thanks very much. We're going to listen in on Matt Greene right now.
He does a lot of things to go unnoticed, and that help you win games.
A year ago when you traded for Mike, that pushed him down, and he sort of embraced his new role. And you need those things for a team to win, right?
Stoll is awesome. He's an ultimate team guy. I think, he'd play anything as long as it's going to get us the win, and as long as he can contribute. I think he'll do anything to help the team. He's an awesome guy. He's been a lot of self-sacrifice in his game. Giving up a lot of minutes and keeping a positive attitude and adjusting to his new role and doing well in it.
Hey, Greener, what was the biggest difference you think for you guys winning this game and going up 3-0 in this series?
Quickie holding us in there at the beginning. The beginning, before we could get our legs underneath us, they came out hard, had a really good push, and we didn't respond back as well as we needed to. And Quickie kept us in it, and I think that was the difference right there, just being able to kind of tread water for a while there.
You have to be really excited. Obviously, one more to go, still a closeout game. So, what's the attitude of this team and the mindset right now?
Sunday's a new game. I mean, we got to reload and get ready. We got to come out better than we did tonight. They took it to us for the first half of that game, and even they had chances in the third too to tie it, and we gotta be better. We gotta get our game going here.
Ray Whitney is such a strong player, such a good guy. You guys have done a really good job of shutting him down. What do you think has been the key for that?
I don't know. I mean, guys are trying to play him hard. It's, you know, a guy like him, you just try to contain him. He's a stud, you know, and we just got to make sure that we know when he's on the ice and try to limit his chances.
The last 2 minutes of this game against Staples Center, the crowd, I mean, it's you can't talk to the person next to you. What's it feel like being on the ice with these fans behind you?
It's great. It's awesome. Encourage more of it. So it's the loudest I've ever heard this building, you know, tonight, and then I came forward against St. Louis, and it's a great feeling to have the home crowd behind you like that.
Look forward to Sunday. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, guys, back to you.
Thank you very much, Patrick. The Kings have a 3-0 lead in this as they win tonight 2-1, and we'll be back with more from Staples Center after this. There's the Stanley Cup. 30 tons of sand over here at LA Live to make the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup made out of sand. The crowd back here roaring, we want the cup. This is becoming a habit here at LA Live when the Kings win. And right now with us is King defenseman Drew Doughty. Drew, feels good to have this be a habit. Come out here and celebrate 3 wins in this series.
Yeah, it's crazy. The fans are unbelievable right now. We're having so much fun as a team. We're playing well, but we're not finished. They're screaming, we want the cup, and that's exactly what we're here for.
Drew, before I get back to early in the game, we were just chatting the ends of games. I mean, if the Kings have been playing a solid brand of hockey all playoff long, they have, but especially at the end of games, closing them out. Talk about that situation.
The end of the game is so key. In the past, our team was letting teams get back in the game, and we've really learned from that. We've learned to not just sit back and hold on to the lead. We've learned to continue to forecheck, continue to get pucks in deep, and continue to make some plays in the offensive zone. And because we're doing that, we don't let the team have their chances on our own.
I know it didn't pay off in a goal tonight, but it seemed to me you were really good at the blue line getting pucks through. That little move, it's tough. Every single team blocks shots nowadays. Anything in your mind there to just make sure you're getting it through?
I'm just looking at the guy's shin pads. You know, sometimes it gets blocked when it's in front of the net, but my main focus is just getting it past that first guy trying to block the shot, and once it goes there, just hoping for the best, hope it goes in or someone tips it in.
Bob and I were just talking a couple moments ago, if I can, Drew, we're going to talk about the same thing, but it's one of those situations where the Kings are finding different ways to win games. Tonight, Phoenix played their best game of the series and probably slowed the game down, but same time, you guys still won.
Yeah, we're finding ways to win. That's why we're playing so well right now. Whether we're winning by a few goals or just one, it doesn't matter. It starts with the goaltending. Quickie's been unbelievable, and then just team defense. We're doing a great job at that, and we're scoring goals. And we're doing everything we can to win these games.
Drew, we're going to take a look at some of the highlights of you so far this playoff series. Starting out here as the Kings beat Vancouver, then they beat St. Louis. Now with a 3-0 lead here on Phoenix.
Here's Drew Doughty at his best. The old spin move, the spinorama, get out of trouble.
Yep.
Now the defense, I thought this was a key play late in the game. Game 1 right there, forcing the play to the outside. We go back to the St. Louis series.
Yeah, this is just a great pass from Rick, and all I got to do is throw her in the net, and luckily it went in.
You know, it's just both ends of the ice. Seems to be like little hesitation in transition. Play D, play O, 5-man unit.
Yeah, our key as defensemen is move the puck, and right after that, if you have the ice to jump to, you do that. And our forwards are doing an unbelievable job at finding us as a 4th man on the rush, and we just got to learn to put more pucks in.
Drew, I thought in the last game at Phoenix, it was like precision for the Kings. It was almost like a surgeon operating in that game. Tonight, maybe not quite the same, and you got behind, and everybody talks about the first goal of the game. But you get behind, no panic, you come back and win the game.
Yeah, we've been scoring the first goal of many of the games throughout these playoffs, and I almost think it's a good thing that the other team scored the first one tonight, because we had to deal with that situation, because it was bound to happen at some point. And even though they got that first one and we didn't play too well in the first 2 periods, we made sure to stay strong and come back and play hard third.
Another game, too, Drew, where there was not one unnecessary penalty by the Kings. I mean, that's discipline.
I might have taken one at the end there, but
little tackle going on.
But that's one thing Darryl wants to make sure we're not doing. We want to play hard in between the whistles. We don't need those slashing penalties or cross-checking or anything like that. We're just playing hard, and if you take a penalty by playing hard, stuff happens, and we'll kill those off.
Jim and I had to come out here early to go on, so I didn't have the final sheet. But the Kings might have set a club record for the fewest penalty minutes in a playoff game here tonight.
If we did, that's a great job. Our team's really trying to stay out of the box, because so many teams are good on the power play nowadays, and if you give them that one chance and they bury it, the momentum changes, and we want to make sure we're staying out of there and play 5-on-5.
Everyone is pulling together. Everyone is playing well, but talk about Dwight King, a guy that when he came up, I think a lot of people expected big body, get on the forecheck, but not much as far as production. 5 goals in 5 games.
Oh, he's being unbelievable. You know, not only is he scoring, he's doing so many other things. He's great on the walls. He uses his big body, protects the puck, and he makes those plays down low, and we needed that. And at the same time, he's hard in on the forecheck. Because he's so big and strong, he's finishing guys, and no one wants to go back for the puck when he's coming at you.
Drew, great win here tonight. Let's wrap it up on Sunday and not have to go back to Phoenix. Great job.
Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Drew.
Thanks for being with us. King defenseman Drew Doughty. Dwight King, 5 goals in his last 5 games. He gets the game-winning goal here tonight. Kings win at 2-1. Let's hear from Dwight King.
Fifth goal of the playoff, sniper on the delayed penalty. Tell me about that goal for you.
It was great. I got the puck off the wall from Louis, and they gave me a little more time than I expected. And once I got close enough to the middle, I knew I had a great chance to shoot, and that's what I did.
How good does this run feel for you? Obviously, team effort, and you got one more to go before you reach the finals. But on a personal level, this has to be just an unreal ride for you.
Yeah, it's going great. Obviously, with a little bit of success we're having, and myself lately here, it's you can't ask for more.
And what about your line and just the job that you guys are doing, the forecheck, the intensity, the defensive play to match physically with the Coyotes?
Yeah, that's our game. We have a big, quick team. We like to get on defense, turn over pucks, and play physical, obviously. And so far, it's been going well for us.
The first period, I talked to Dustin, I also talked to Matt. He really felt that Quickie was the big difference in saving you guys from that first. What do you think?
Absolutely. We came out pretty flat. Quickie brought his A game for us, and that's what we needed at that point. We want to learn from the first. Obviously, you don't want to come out that flat, but Jonathan's a great goalie, and he's shown it in the first.
Why do you think you came out flat, and what was said after the first by the coaching staff to get you guys to get out and get some more jump?
There's just no real words, obviously. Yeah. You just learn from it. We're not going to look back at it now. Coach just pretty much called everybody out. Obviously, we wanted to be better, and we were.
Got the win, and now you got to close that game Sunday, a chance to go to the finals. What's the message for the team?
One more. The fourth one's always the hardest. We've known that, and we're going to prepare for it like it's going to be a battle.
Dwight, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Guys, and back to you, Dwight King. His 5th goal of the playoffs. Pretty good.
There's a good playoff beard right there that she's got going. I'll tell you, nice to see a youngster get a chance and come up here and make the most of it. He's got 5 goals overall, but in this series, he's got 4 goals.
And solid play, but at the same time, Bob, like everyone else, elevating his play. In this series, 2-on-1, shot, rebound, backhand. Good set of hands, doesn't skate by the net, hangs around the front to put it home. Then finish off the game because he's going to be put in a situation where a coach shows a lot of trust. Empty netter, right there. Turn around, find the empty net. Dwight King finds it, and the Kings end up winning that game, game 1. Of course, last game, Doughty gets it through, deflection slot, King. Gets the big body, right position, tough to move, not only the screen, but the deflection. Then, of course, tonight, Lewis being hit, delayed penalty. And there is a patience issue where you have a young player that's not necessarily known for this type of thing, but at the same time, he's showing confidence in himself, confidence in his teammate, doing everything so well right there. King, 5 goals. Voinov, he has been such a pleasant, I'm not going to say surprise because we knew it, but into the playoffs, the composure is still there. He's taking control, and he's controlling the tempo of games. Jordan Nolan, 3 rookies, everyone doing it.
Everybody is doing it. Coming into the game, 17 players had a point. 15 different players had goals coming into this game tonight in the playoff series. You know who's here tonight? A lot of Kings alumni were here at the game, and we're going to talk with a couple of them. Butch Goring and Jamie Storr when we come back. The Kings win it 2-1. Back in a moment. Well, that's what the fans want to see on Sunday. A sweep again in a series by the Kings as they lead this series 3-0. They're all chanting, "We want the cup," and we've got a couple of Kings alumni with us here. One guy, Butch Goring, he knows that chant, "We want the cup." He won 4 of them with the New York Islanders. And former King goaltender Jamie Storr. Thanks for joining us, guys, and thanks for being here tonight.
Well, it's pretty exciting. It's been a long time coming, and a lot of people would say it's their time, and it certainly looks like it, Bob.
Butch, I mentioned when you heard fans chanting, "We want the cup," and you said it's getting close. You know what that feeling's like.
Yeah, it really is. And you know, for the players, they have to, you listen to the players, they have one more game, and they have to continue to concentrate. And everybody will tell you it's that fourth game it's the hardest one to win. And Phoenix is not rolling over. I thought they played a real strong game, and they just couldn't find a way to get find a way to score an extra goal. But the Kings, they look awful strong, awful confident, and it's really a lot of fun for all us ex-Kings to watch what's going on.
Well, it was a lot of fun to watch you in the playoffs in 76 and 77 against the Boston Bruins. Scored that overtime goal and got carried off on the shoulders of your teammates. I've never seen that since, so that was a great moment. Jamie Stoll, goaltender with the Kings, was in the playoffs against the St. Louis Blues. Must have been nice for you to see the Kings sweep after what happened in that series back in, 98, right?
Yeah, no, you know what, it's amazing to see how the Kings have kind of evolved. You know, they've turned into a powerhouse, and when you watch, it's almost like an evolution. You know, roles reversed.
Right.
Jonathan Quick's turned into Grant Fuhr, you know, and poor Billy Elliott turned into me. But you know, it's an amazing thing to see. And you know, Butch said it the best. He said, you know, it's their time's coming. Yeah. You know, it's just everything's evolved to where you see this becoming, you know, their time.
Jamie, if I can ask you, because I know you currently work with young goaltenders and trying to take a look. We're going to take a look here at Jonathan Quick, and you can break down his game for us because exciting, physical, but he gets the job done.
Yeah, you know, one of the biggest things you see with Jonathan Quick is how agile he is, but you see anytime the guy comes to shoot down the wing, he challenges so much that high shot's not going to beat him. It doesn't matter how low he is, he gets out so high that basically he covers the total top corner. You see the goal that got scored on by Smith today. He's so deep in his net, even though he's 6'3", when he goes down, he still gives away over the glove. Quick, you're never going to beat him over the glove. The only shot that beat him went through him today. He's turned out to be one of those goalies that you watch. He's going to be hard to beat. He's almost like I remember when Rob Blake played defense. If a pass went across the 2-on-1, everyone stopped the game and we looked and went, what's wrong with Rob? This is how Jonathan Quick's become. He's become an elite goaltender, and I mean, he's proven himself.
How can you've been in a situation where you have a goaltender that's on top of his game? And do you want to be talked to during the intermissions in the dressing room, or you just want guys to leave you alone?
I think at the end of the day, when you're that good, you know, you could dance, you could do whatever you want in the intermission. He's just that good. He doesn't have to pray when he goes home at night. He's realistically talented, and he's come into his own. And I think all great players have that, where they realize as long as they get enough rest and as long as they fine-tune themselves, when they go out, their skill's going to carry over, and he's definitely a skilled goaltender.
You know about fine-tuning yourself, Jimmy.
I know about that. I was such on edge. Such on edge.
I know it.
I could never relax.
You know what? Tomorrow's his birthday, so happy birthday to Jimmy. 39 years old.
Right. Again.
I told Butch earlier this year, I said, if they'd have had the shootout when you played, you never would have missed in the shootout. What was it about breakaways with you? You were so good on that.
You know, I think I didn't have to think. I think that was the big deal. And you know what? I'm not sure I would have been good on these shootouts because you do have too much time, and you see a lot of the great players like Gretzky and even Lemieux and Jagr. They don't even want to take these shootouts because there's too much time. Yeah. You know, breakaways in many situations is reaction. So I'm not sure I would have been as good. I think I found my niche. It was the right time. That was in the 60s and 70s.
Well, your right time was with the Islanders too, and he still does TV with the New York Islanders and does a great job. And Jamie Stoll, thank you guys for being here tonight and the support you've given this team, and thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. And okay, Kings, take it all the way.
All right. Butch Goring and Jamie Stoll. We're going to hear now from the winning coach, Darryl Sutter. What were his comments on this Kings win tonight?
Coach, when your forecheck's going well, what makes it work?
I think it takes all five guys to make it work. I think that we weren't that good at it early in the game, and they were. We didn't get a chance to forecheck or anything. It's tough with the goalie because you don't put pucks in, right? He moves it so good.
Dennis Bernstein, fourth period. Darryl, 11-1. Is your team a team of destiny now?
Pardon?
Is your team a team of destiny now, 11-1?
Destiny? What is that?
Darryl, thought your top three centers all had really strong games tonight. Stoll's not a guy that gets as much attention. Used to be, more of a top six guy. Has accepted his role. Talk about his game.
I think when he's, we talked about it earlier before the series about when he's slotted right where he is. He's awesome like that, and he had a strong, powerful game tonight in the tough areas. And I thought him and Kopitar were outstanding.
Coach Ted Sobel, KFWB.
Ted.
Is there a little kid inside of you just semi-partying because you're one win from the Cup Finals?
No,
I know how you are, but
way too old to like that. I've been in lots of conference finals and only won one, so we got a long ways to go here.
John?
So I said, doesn't matter. The farther you go, the tougher it is to win games. 1's tougher than 0, 2's tougher than 1, 3's tougher than 2. It's very simple, not hard to figure out.
Darryl, can you talk just about the resiliency of this team and just answering their goal so quickly to tie it up?
Well, so our top goal scorer scored the goal and made a great play on her, right? So.
But this is something that you guys have done all playoffs. Against St. Louis, every time that, they would score, you guys would answer back pretty
Playoffs are about close games, right? It's about being up 1, down 1. That's why some games take all night. Somebody ties it up and somebody scores. That's real.
Don't do that Sunday. You won't have all night.
Yeah.
You've got a Pheasant finalist and Quick in net. You could very easily sit back and try to protect leads when you get them. What is it that makes you philosophically try to keep going and push for more? Is it, is it that it can be just one goal and then you're playing all night?
Well, it's tough to only score 1 goal and win. I think we learned that during the regular season. I think this team we had 10 1-0 games, one way or the other, right? So it's tough to win 1-0.
Coach, Steve Hartman, KTLA. Players seem to indicate that it was pretty animated before third period intermission there. Did you say something to get them? Because they seem to really come out fired up for that third period.
It wasn't me that was animated. Between the second and third?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't me.
You want to tell us who did?
No, that's the players' room, right? It's not the coach's room.
I think he brought up a pretty good point there. He's been through this before, and I think that gives him the knowledge to keep this team focused, as we've talked about throughout this playoff run.
He got as close as you can without winning.
Yeah.
7th game, it was on the road against Tampa Bay. He's coaching Calgary, and throughout that playoffs, there was a lot of games where a lot of people were saying Calgary's not going to do it. They're not going to do it. Different than the Kings team this year, where the Kings just seem to take control of series early on and go from there. If I can backtrack for 1 second, the Jarret Stoll conversation. He deserves a lot of credit. In today's day of high salaries and things of that sort, Jarret Stoll's an unrestricted free agent at the end of this year. Offensively, things were not going his way this year.
Yeah.
He could have started complaining. He could have started about it. He never, ever once did. Bob, you're in the room. I'm in the room. We're talking to those players. He's always talking about the team. He's always doing the little things when necessary. The face-offs, the pressure on the puck, stick in the right position, killing penalties, doing all those things. So with everything that could have knocked Jarret Stoll off his season and off his game, mental toughness, and he pulled it together, and now he's a big factor in these games.
Talking about penalty kill, the Kings took only 4 minutes in penalties. As far as I know right now, that is a Kings playoff record, fewest penalty minutes in a game. They killed both of the penalties, and they have now killed 30 out of 30 of the last time that they've been short. Jarret Stoll had an assist, of course, on the game-winning goal, so let's hear what he had to say. Oh, we're talking about Kopitar. Okay. Okay, we're not going to hear from Stoll.
Kopitar. We heard enough from him in the game. He did a good job in the game. Yeah, Anze Kopitar, Darryl Sutter says the best goal scorer, so he is the best player. He's out there. He's controlling at times. Go back in the playoffs, of course. Little move right here. Right to the top corner. Over the shoulder. And that's Kopitar just waiting for the right time, the right position. Chasing down loose puck is Dustin Brown, and Kopitar reaching around. There's that reach and the ability to stop on a dime and reach around, maintain control of the puck, and just keep things going. There's a chip. That made it 4-0. That was one of those first periods in the St. Louis series where the Kings just dominated. And the line led by Kopitar certainly did that. The stop up by Brown. And you'll see again, this is a good example of what was talked about earlier with Dwight King. Mike Smith plays deep. And he's big, and he's quick. He can make saves, but if he plays deep, you can open up some spots. And if you pick him, you'll find him. King tonight, Kopitar earlier. Then there it is early in tonight's game. A little bit of an open up with the hands, a little bit of a fake, and make the goaltender's momentum work against them. Goaltender trying to back off at the same time. He did not have it, and Anze Kopitar makes it work.
Well, look at that top line graphic. 7 goals for Dustin Brown, 5 goals for Kopitar, 2 goals for Justin Williams. They've all contributed, and they're all on a plus in the plus-minus category. And I had just jumped the gun before, so now we're going to hear from Anze Kopitar.
Well, we just want to stay aggressive and play within the whistles and staying out of it, out of the retaliation stuff. And I think tonight, first period, we kind of set back and figured out pretty quick it's not going to work. They were coming at us pretty good, and after that, I think we got our game in order and pushed right back.
Kobe, Ted Sobel, KFWB. Talk about the little kid inside of you right now. 1 win at a time. We know all that good stuff. What's the little kid saying inside 1 win away from the finals?
Well, it's exciting, of course, but just like you said, there's still 1 left in the series, and after that, we'll see what happens and who it is. But again, we're gonna enjoy this one tonight and get back at it tomorrow.
I'm curious, you brought this up and you're up 3-0. It's an easier way to ask. This issue of retaliation, and you talk about avoiding retaliation, which seems to be a motto of this team right now. How easy is it to prevent yourself from retaliating? And if it is easy, why doesn't it happen during the regular season when maybe not as much importance is with each game?
Well, I mean, I guess it's easier to take a punch in the face in playoffs knowing that you're going to get a power play than it is in regular season. But that's the game plan going in, and you want to be disciplined. You want to, stay off or, not letting them to go on the power play because they do have some firepower, and, so far we've been doing a pretty good job.
During the regular season, do you have the same, if you wanted to, if you had to, could you stay back and not respond if you needed to?
Yeah, I think so.
Anze, you talked about the pushback, and it seemed like a huge part of that was kind of getting your forecheck in order and putting their D under duress. A, was that part of it? And B, what makes your forecheck so good when it's working?
I think in the first period we were turning over the puck quite a bit in the neutral zone, and every time you do that, your skates are facing the wrong way, and obviously you got to back check, and you don't get a whole lot of flow, and definitely not in any offensive zone time. And after that, we cleaned that up. We got the pucks behind their D. We weren't trying to make a perfect play on their blue lines, and we got in there. We got some cycles going, and it worked out for us.
Anze, can you just talk about the knack that this team has shown in the playoffs to answer back when the other team scores, to answer back with a goal of your own?
Yeah, it seems we've come back, pretty quick. Every goal we get scored on. So, it's just the way we play. Again, we try to stay aggressive and score goals, obviously.
He came back with a goal to tie the game 2 minutes and 7 seconds after the Kings fell behind 1-0 in the game. Anze Kopitar with points in 6 straight now as he scored a goal to tie the game, and then Dwight King won it. On the game-winning goal, we had Jarret Stoll, the veteran. We've talked about him. He got an assist on the game-winning goal, and the media crowded around him right after the game. Let's hear what he had to say.
Assist on the game winner. They added you late there. I'm glad they got it right. Tell me about that play and Dwight King with his 5th of the playoffs and for the game winner.
Just got a loose puck, and I got to bear down on those chances too, but try to put those in the back of the net. But we kept the puck alive, and Louis did a great job on the wall, and Kinger found the loose puck in the slot again, and just what a shot. It was a great shot, and an even better look on his face when he was celebrating. It was pretty special.
How are you feeling? Some of the best hockey you think you played right now?
Yeah, I think all of us, we can, as a group, we're playing well, and each line is kind of finding their own little groove, finding their own little click, and working with it, working hard together, and doing the right things together. And you can't have a gap. You can't have 2 guys going, 1 guy going. If you have those 3 guys on a line working together, smart like that, good things can happen.
You guys hadn't trailed in a while, and then they score. You guys score again 2 minutes later. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we've done that quite a bit here in the playoffs. So getting that rebound goal right away and getting back to even, that's huge. It was a great play by Brownie to get it to Kopi, and an even better move. So big play to tie the game up and go from there.
Dean traded for Mike last June. At some point, did you guys have a conversation? I mean, you probably figured some of it on your own, but did he talk to you about still how important you were on this team?
Yeah, he did for sure. And I knew. I didn't. Whatever my role would be, I knew I can. If I'm playing to my capabilities, I know I can contribute and play different roles, play different situations. Whatever the case may be, and I think our coach knows that too. So it's I was very happy when obviously we got it.
And once again, a look at the sand sculpture. Drew Doughty moves a lot quicker on the ice than he does in the sand. I'll tell you that. As the Kings win tonight, 2-1, they lead the series 3-0. We're going to take a look back at this series, starting with Game 1.
Well, you have Dustin Brown with a slash skating. Great pass by Boynov. Zips it right there, 7-hole underneath the arm of Mike Smith. Brown continues to play so strong. The Kings end up 4-2, double up on the Coyotes in game number 1. Game number 2, it was the Jeff Carter show. Carter picking the right time to jump down. Good play down low by Benner. Then on the power play, off the skate of Jeff Carter. Then finally power play, rebound. 3 goals for Carter, and the Kings end up with a big 4-0 win. You come into tonight's game, the Coyotes had scored first. Kopitar tied it up. Delayed penalty coming up here against the Coyotes, and Dwight King shows that he has patience. He can hold on, and when given time, wow, look at that, right to the top corner against Smith, deep in the crease. That's his style. King picks the corner, and the Kings win this one 2-1.
So we take a look now in the Stanley Cup playoffs. What's coming up? There is a game on Sunday at noon, and again, there is so much activity down here with the Amgen Tour of California. Get here early, Kings fans. They're going to open the building at 9 a.m. Free coffee and donuts till 10:30. I know Jim will be here and take part in that. I will too.
Not because of the coffee and the donuts, because it's free.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, that's
okay.
I'll be here for that.
And then we hope no game on Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday. Now, we'll be on again with our post-game show after the game Sunday. That's going to be live on Prime Ticket after Sunday's Kings game. Dave Tippet, former King assistant, now the head coach, and doing a great job in Phoenix. I'm sure he's dejected after this loss tonight. Let's hear what he had to say.
The game is turning a little dishonest, and it's embellishment by players because they know, and it's when it's done well, it's very hard for the referees, very hard, because if you fall down near the boards or you drop your stick or you throw your head back, you're putting the referee in a very tough situation. And not just our game tonight, you see it all through that the referees have a hard job, and what it does, it makes the game dishonest. But in actual fact, to make it work to your favor, you got to do it more. I mean, you got to do it, or if everybody else is doing it, you better do it too. And we saw more than one penalty out there for us and against us that were called that I thought were plays where there was embellishment. So it's too bad that it has to go that way. It's too bad that you get to this point in the season that becomes a factor, but it's the reality of our game right now.
You guys wind up with 4 shots on goal in the third period. Is that a case of sort of their goal taking the starch out of you, or is there something that they're doing defensively that's really giving you fits in those cases?
No, it's a case of us killing too many penalties and a case of us not generating enough, not executing well enough to give ourselves chances.
Coach Josh Brewster, HockeyTalk.biz. Can you speak to your club's ability or inability in this series to establish an offensive zone presence that would give you multiple shot opportunities, give you some more time, just about your offensive zone play in general?
I thought our first period today was the best we've been in the series so far, but you need we need more people making plays at critical times, and if you see a lot of our execution, some of the execution starts in the D zone or neutral zone to get you to the offensive zone. We continue to turn over some pucks that I think are easy plays to make. We're just we've had trouble executing, whether the speed has gone up, we can't get to that level, or whatever the reason be. We're not generating enough and not getting enough sustained stuff in the offensive zone to feel like we have a hard push on.
Coach, Jonathan Davis from the Hockey News. How deflating was the goal, their goal, after coming so quickly after you guys went ahead?
Well, it was a breakdown in coverage by us, so we went into the game knowing we were going to have to play a tight game. We get that goal, get a break on a pretty good play, and give it up that quick again. But the one thing you'd have to do in a game like this, it's not as if we were going behind there. We were still tied, so we had to keep playing. You know, the goal in the third was deflating because we brought some trouble on ourselves, and then we were going to get a penalty on what I thought was an embellishment call, and so that the momentum goes against you, and then we ended up killing a couple more, and that's tough to come back for our club when we're doing that.
Coach.
Well, the Kings had 28 shots on goal. They held Phoenix to only 19 shots, only 4 in that third period. I was just thinking, the Kings 0 for 5 on the power play. Do you know how much easier we would breathe if the Kings were scoring on that power play? Because they had chances to really break the game wide open, couldn't do it.
They certainly did. Last game, of course, the Kings did score some power play goals. And the thing that comes to mind to me is that the Boston Bruins had the second worst power play in the NHL playoffs last year and won the Stanley Cup. And you know what? It's almost, and it's almost a blessing in disguise. When you go into the playoffs with a power play that was dominating in the regular season, and then it goes away, all of a sudden you're stuck with nothing. So I look at it the other way. Maybe I'm taking that glass half full where you were not effective in the regular season. So anything that happens in the playoffs is a bonus for the LA Kings. But it can turn momentum, and it can change things around. In the St. Louis series, the power play for the Kings didn't necessarily light it up, but they spent so much time in the offensive zone that St. Louis expended a lot of energy. That's not necessarily happening in this series. The Kings, though, could break games open because they're so strong everywhere else.
Well, Jonathan Quick and the Kings are 11-1 in the playoffs so far this year, and they could wrap it up on Sunday. The game is at noon on Sunday, so make sure you're here early. It's game number 4 in this series. The Kings win it tonight, 2-1. Dwight King gets the game-winning goal. Kings lead the series 3 games to none. For Jim Fox and for Patrick O'Neill, this is Bob Miller. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you Sunday after the game.